views. I should have 200 likes. Why do y'all act like liking a video is like me asking you to donate a kidney?
Let me show you my
Number one!
Alright, turn left! Okay.
Did you know that if you use this sound,
His Story is a brand new YouTube channel that blew up out of nowhere. They make Zach D Films videos, and we're gonna see if they're better, worse, or even better. Let's watch it.
My friends and I were water rafting when our friend Nick yelled, "Watch this!" He stood at the front of the raft, getting ready to dive as we screamed him to sit down. Then he dove headfirst into the rapids. He was the most reckless, but we all loved him, so no one panicked. But the seconds stretched, and he didn't come up. The laughing stopped. Did he actually get himself killed this time? We dug our paddles in and tried to turn back to save him, but the current was too strong and kept dragging us downstream, away from where he'd gone under. Someone said, "Remember when he jumped off that bridge and missed the rocks by an inch? He survived that, but this time felt different." So we screamed his name over the roar of the water, scanning every wave, but the surface stayed empty. Then we spotted a river guide and flagged him down. "Our friend went under. Can you help us find him?" His face
I mean, bro is literally gone. If more than
dropped. "That's the second person to go in today," he said. "This water has drowned people. I'm calling for help." But as he grabbed his radio, the clouds went dark, thunder screaming as rain hammered down and whipped the rapids into huge, crashing waves no one could swim through. By the time we reached the end, soaked and shaking, we jumped off the raft and begged the guide, "Please, did you find him?" He shook his head. "We haven't found your friend, and we still haven't found the other one who went in." Nearby, a woman was sobbing into her husband's chest, screaming her daughter's name in the water. I couldn't stop shaking. I started to give up hope, but then the guide's radio crackled. "We found something downstream." My friends and the other family sprinted down the bank toward where the guide pointed, my heart pounding, terrified of what we'd find. Rescuers were dragging something out of the water onto the rocks, but the rain was too heavy to see. Then a figure sat up, coughing, and my breath caught. It was Nick. But he wasn't alone. He had his arms wrapped around a little girl, shielding her as she coughed up water. The sobbing woman screamed and ran, scooping the girl into her arms. Our friend gasped, "Oh my God." He didn't jump in to be reckless. He jumped in to save her. We crowded around him, asking if he was okay. He just grinned up at us, soaked and shivering. The kid was a plus. But did you see my dive?
Wow, that was
fun story.
so funny. So you guys just saw what His Story YouTube channel is bringing to you.
That was some W storytelling, and I really like the animation style. It's literally the same as the Zach D Films videos. I like this.
And now I'm wondering, is this channel AI or is it operating with the same software that makes the animation looks exactly the same as Zach D Films? That's my biggest question.
Or is it someone from Zach D Films team?
It could be. It looks literally the same.
Is this an employee that ran away from the Zach D Films team?
The voice is definitely AI, that's for sure.
You think?
Definitely. Sounds like a robot.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we...
Hey, yeah!
Wait, I have a twin brother, Chris.
I'm Chris, and I'm his twin brother. What?
Wait, let's watch it.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table when Mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night.
And I'm his twin brother. What?
Wait, let's watch it.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table when Mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up, I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. "Are you there?" Nothing. But I came back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left, I always said the same thing. "See you tomorrow, Chris." A week later, Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse and she barely looked looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I bought a notebook the next day and started writing down every single one. 4 months in, Mom watched me scribbling and said, "How long are you gonna keep doing this?" Until he taps back. He's not gonna tap back. You're talking to a corpse. Dad lasted a few more months before he pulled me into the hallway. "We need to talk about donating your brother's organs. His fingers move every time I hold his hand, Dad. The nurses said those are reflexes. Stop getting your hopes up, son. I don't care what the nurses say. You're not donating my brother's organs." But a week later, my parents called to have Chris transferred to a long-term facility to die and scheduled a meeting to sign the papers. The afternoon before the meeting, I tapped into his palm like always, but this time, something tapped back. Short, short, short. Long, long, long. Short, short, short. SOS. I grabbed his hand. "Chris, if that's you, squeeze once." He squeezed so hard my knuckles cracked. I stormed into the meeting room and told them my brother just responded to me. The caseworker said, "This is very common with families who aren't ready to let go." My parents nodded. I grabbed the transfer papers off the table. "You're not signing anything until you come see for yourself." I walked them to Chris's bed and grabbed his hand. "Ask him anything." The caseworker asked what year it was. Chris squeezed out the answer. Count to 5. 5 perfect squeezes. His mother's name, tapped out letter by letter. By the 10th question, she said, "He's still alive. We can't move him." Weeks later, I asked Chris what kept him fighting when everyone gave up. Heard Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you. Too.
Wow,
That was just touching.
such...
Get it? Morse code touching?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, touching story, that's for sure. Ill parents, bro.
For real.
Yeah, no, like for real. You guys probably heard if you speak around someone that's in a coma, they could definitely hear you. They cannot respond back, and they might look like they're dead to you, but they could actually hear. The "I wanted to see you too" literally makes me tear up. Yeah, no, that was an amazing story.
The flight attendant slipped me a napkin that said, "The pilot isn't who he..."
Actually hear. You guys. Wow.
Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you too.
Wow.
That was just...
Squeezed out the answer. Count to 5. 5 perfect squeeze. Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you too.
Wow. You guys probably heard if you speak actually hear. The "I wanted to see you too" literally makes me tear up. Yeah, no, that was an amazing story.
The flight attendant slipped me a napkin that said, "The pilot isn't who he says he is. Meet me in the back to talk." I knew she chose to tell me because of the military dog tags around my neck. I folded the napkin and slid it into my pocket, and that's when the captain's voice came over the intercom. "Good morning, folks. This is Captain Hopkins, expecting smooth skies to Chicago." But something was wrong. I could feel it in my bones. I waited 2 minutes and casually walked to the back, not knowing what to expect. The flight attendant was there with a man holding up a police badge. The man whispered, "I'm glad you're here. I'm an undercover cop." I knew something was wrong straight away. The flight attendant whispered, "I've flown with Captain Hopkins for 6 years. I don't exactly know what's wrong, but I know that's not Hopkins, and we're flying the wrong way." She showed me the flight map of where we were heading. The plane is heading toward an abandoned airport. I leaned over the map. My body was pumping with adrenaline because it was the perfect place to crash a plane. There's an empty space above the pilot's room. I can climb up and listen to what the pilot and co-pilot are planning through the ceiling. Take my number. If you can tell there's something fishy going on, text me one word, now. That's the signal to move. And to distract everyone while I climbed above the ceiling, the flight attendant made an announcement on the speakers to tell everyone to keep their seatbelts on. Through the cracks, I could hear 2 men in the pilot's room talking. 15 years ago today, our brother died because of Captain Hopkins. Now we get to crash his plane with him tied up on it while we impersonate him. I texted the undercover cop. Now, the cart slammed into the pilot's room door, and the cop kicked it open. I dropped through the ceiling and tackled the fake pilot out of his seat. The cop pinned the co-pilot to the floor. The flight attendant grabbed the radio. "Mayday, our pilot is gone. We need help landing right now." She looked at me. "Find Hopkins, the actual pilot. He has to be on this plane somewhere." I sprinted to the back of the plane, checking every door. I yanked open the closet next to the bathrooms, and Captain Hopkins was inside with his hands tied and tape across his mouth. I ripped the tape off. "Get me to the controls." He ran to the front and dropped into the pilot's chair. He grabbed the wheel. "Tower, this is the real Captain Hopkins. I'm landing this plane." When we finally landed, the cops dragged the brothers off in handcuffs. The flight attendant came up to me in the aisle. I pulled the napkin out of my pocket and held it up. "You saved 200 lives with this." She smiled and took it back.
Wow, such an amazing story.
Absolute cinema.
That was actually cinema. One of the best stories yet. So we got a taste of what this channel is. A bunch of stories. They're obviously not real. Like, they gotta be hypothetical, right?
Whoever's writing these stories, W Writer, these are very good. And the animators too. The animators need food, bro.
Loved. Loved by the creator.
The animators did an amazing job. This is totally not AI.
Yeah, it cannot be. But this channel is like pumping shorts like 5 times a day. I don't know how they do it.
This guy's either animating all day or they have the biggest team ever.
Yeah, true.
Every time we heard a knock on the front door, my dad would yell, "Stealth mode," and we had 30 seconds to kill every light in the house. My brother and I would race through the rooms, flipping switches, yanking cords, shutting off the TV mid-show, while some guy outside banged on the front door yelling, "I know you're in there, buddy." Dad timed us. Once everything was dark, no talking, no moving, no looking out the windows. We'd sit there until Dad did his owl hoot, which meant all clear. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes almost an hour. Afterwards, he'd high-five us and go, "Real ninjas couldn't do better." He told us stealth mode was top secret. Never tell your teachers, your friends, nobody. Other people wouldn't understand. For years, I believed him. When I was 8, I asked Dad why we had to hide so much. He said some annoying guy kept bothering our family, and stealth mode was how we dealt with him. I felt proud we had a secret skill that could outsmart bad guys. By the time I was 10, I heard the voice outside yell something about a bet and $20. I tugged Dad's sleeve and whispered, "Is the bad guy trying to steal our money?" Dad shushed me so hard I flinched. When I was 12, I broke the window rule, peeked through the blinds, and saw a completely normal guy in a polo shirt standing on the porch rubbing his forehead. He didn't look like a criminal. He looked like someone's tired uncle. At 13, I told Dad I was just going to open the door and tell the guy to leave us alone. The color left his face. You absolutely cannot do that. That was the first time stealth mode didn't feel like a game. By 15 or 16, it barely happened anymore. But when it did, Dad would peek through the blinds looking guilty. Mom just shook her head from the couch and muttered something under her breath. I was 17 and home alone when I heard it. "I know you're in there. It's been 12 years, man." I opened the front door. The guy nearly fell backwards. Normal-looking dude, middle-aged, holding a crumpled piece of paper. "Oh, hi. Is your dad home? I'm his old college roommate." He held up the paper. "Your old man bet me $20 Michael Jordan wouldn't win his 6th ring. That was 1998. I've been knocking on this door ever since." He handed me the IOU, both their signatures, right there at the bottom. I left it on the kitchen table. Mom saw it first and laughed so hard she had to hold the counter. Dad picked it up, read it, put it back down, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "So now he knows someone's home." Then he turned off the kitchen light and got under the table. We were never in danger. My dad just lost a bet because of the greatest of all time.
Are you kidding me?
The heck was this video?
All of this for $20? Bro, just pay up.